and welcome back to my channel, Standing Tall on Tuesdays. And I am here with Kisha Roberts-Tabb. And guess what? She was my first interviewee 4 years ago. Thank you for coming back.
You're welcome.
Thank you. So let's do a quick recap. So many things have happened in these past, I know, 4 years, right? You are still shaking and baking, moving and grooving, and doing your community thing with sex trafficking.
Yes.
I did see congratulations for Chicago Defender.
Yeah,
2024.
thank you.
Oh, yes. 2024 Woman of Excellence. Yes. And you had your big gala night. You are doing, always doing things. So talk about that for me.
Which one?
I know, right? The gala.
So the gala actually.
How was it?
It was amazing.
Okay.
It was amazing. So literally, Girls' Night Out was an event, and so we have moved past. For me, I've moved past just doing things like not that the event wasn't impactful. I think it was impactful every year, but I also felt like it was more that we needed to do. So just understanding the need, and so I thought, I had been doing outreach for 8 years. I had been doing it 6 years as Girls' Night Out.
Right.
But so for me, 8 always means a new beginning. And so on that 8th year, I wanted to do something different and I wanted to raise money. So we still did the outreach. We still did the rally, but I wanted to be more impactful. And I thought about what are some of the major pathways into trafficking. And so when I think about the major pathways is housing insecurity. So that's how the gala came about, around raising funding so that we can get some of these women housed. And, I think to me, it's inhumane to tell a person, come off the street, and I don't have nowhere to go. I don't have anywhere for you to go. And so I no longer want to be doing things that I cannot see the outcome, see it through.
Okay. So it was successful?
Very.
Okay.
It was very successful. It was very successful. It was originally supposed to just be around raising funds for housing, but we had the opportunity to award a survivor a full scholarship to Olive Harvey. So that was an amazing thing. We were able to premiere a short that is going to be a documentary, a 9-minute and 37 minutes. We were able to premiere that and so get some buzz around that. And so overall, we raised a lot of money.
I was going to ask, did you guys raise a lot of money?
We raised a lot of money. We have a year-long campaign. So we raised money that evening, but the campaign continues. So we have a year-long campaign. Our goal for the year is $80,000. And so that campaign is constantly running on my website. You can do a $24 for 2024, and then we have a separate campaign for individuals that want to make their own campaign, and we also have a reoccurring. So if you want it to come out every month, however you want to make that contribution, you can. So we will be collecting all year, and those funds will be divided between 2 agencies: one that work really heavily with younger girls, and one that work with women.
Okay. I remember when we did this, it was in January that we had this first interview. And I don't know why I thought that we did it around the Super Bowl time, but maybe it wasn't. But I know that you said that the most heaviest sex trafficking is around Super Bowl time.
Well, any sports event. Any sports event.
Any sports
event.
So
Super Bowl is that's what you hear about a lot in the media, because there have been some stings. That's when so a lot of people don't know that the last month in January leading up to the Super Bowl is when there's a national sting that goes on throughout the United States, where they're looking through ads, they're monitoring different people and their online behavior. And so because of that, the Super Bowl has gotten a lot of attention around trafficking because of that particular sting that happens between those 2 weeks. However, any sports event, anything where a lot of men. So even if you are an outreach worker in the city, if it's a fight in Vegas, you don't see any girls because they're on buses going to Vegas. So anytime that there's going to be a lot of men in a space, they'll provide that.
Any basketball event,
so we've done drafts. We've done the NBA draft. We've done the Super Bowl. We haven't done a fight. We've done different manufacturing conferences. anything
where
it's going to be men, they're going to provide girls.
Okay. So you all like set up. What do you do as far as
So for Super Bowl, we started out going doing outreach. Our first Super Bowl that we were able to do was I believe it was in Arizona, and so we had a headquarters there where we had women that were able to come off the street and stay there overnight until we can negotiate a bed or something at another location other than the city that they were either from or recovered. So we were able to send. We had connections with Southwest Airlines, and we were able to send different women different places. We also established at the Super Bowl, we established a relationship with the Greyhound and Amtrak, and so they all offered us tickets for young ladies. So we used the database prior to going. We made sure that we knew who had open beds and who we could call to see who had open beds, and so that's how we kind of maneuvered during Super Bowl. But we also had a location where we were able to bring women that were addicted and they can detox before they go into a center, because another thing people don't know, it's a lot in doing this work. You have to really know, like what the expectation is from service providers, things of that nature. So they won't take you if you detoxing off certain drugs. And so oftentimes you need a holding place where women and men can go to detox before they can even be before they can enter into a treatment facility.
Now you just said something. You said women and men, because a lot of times people just think it's women.
No, it's not. It's men as well.
It's men too that are being sex trafficked as well. One thing, and this was after we did our first interview, that I started noticing when I would go into a public washroom, that they would have signage. They would have the signage talking about how do you identify, how do you notice.
We worked hard for that.
Yes, we worked. And I was like, oh my goodness, like,
we worked very hard for that.
Yeah,
because that was something that I think when. I'm not going to say when I first started, but shortly after, people didn't really understand trafficking. They didn't understand what it was. And even I just told somebody today, like, I started working at juvenile court in 2003, and I think I probably got my first sex trafficking case in 2003, but there was no name for it. And so it took, like, trailblazers to make people listen so that this is a real thing. This is not fast girls. These are not just, runaways. This is a real issue that we need to address. And so with people like Brenda Myers-Powell being on the forefront of making people listen to her as a survivor and turning from a survivor to an advocate, and now to sit on a U.S. task force, with the president of the United States and make recommendations for national change, that's big, and so with her being out in front like that, she was able to kind of gather people and tell us, like, this is my issue, because for whatever reason, she felt like they're not listening to me because I'm coming from a space of a survivor. So I need another voice. And so we became the voice for the survivors, so because we were on the street, they can tell us, this is what we need. This is what we're missing. I wish I had this and I wish I had that. And so one of the things that we worked on was getting that signage. We also, getting signage out in hotels and motels, and being able to recommendations around having to use a key to go up to the thing. People that just don't come about. That's hard work. That's reports that you have to, you up in the middle of the night writing those reports, doing that research. And so I've always been, like, I see things and I'm like, oh wow, that's amazing. I worked on that. That's a good feeling, and not to be braggadocious or anything like that, but just to see the fruit of your labor is like, that's what I'm talking about.
And to be proud of it.
And so that signage is one of the things that, was a big recommendation for us around awareness. Other recommendations was around getting hotels and motel accommodation facilities trained. And I had the privilege of working on that curriculum, to make sure that when they are trained, they know exactly what to look for, and I think that's, most people can't say that, I do this work, you leave your work at home. But when I leave work and I can see, the fruit of that work in other places, that's amazing. That's amazing, and that's enough to make you want to say, okay, what's next? Like, okay, well, I can raise this 80,000.
I have seen the signage at sports arenas. I have seen it at airports. I have seen it at restaurants. So it's around. It's everywhere in different cities and different places. So it's definitely getting around. And I'm reading it all the time, and I'm just like, this is good, because it's
awareness.
Oh, and it needs to be. is something that everybody needs to know. And um, our interview was like one of the biggest and the most feedback that I ever got, like, about this. So I'm glad that we're talking about it even more now because it's prevalent. It's like out here.
Not only is it prevalent, like with COVID kind of really exacerbated the numbers because people were sheltered in place, and so much could happen without people seeing, so much online. I mean, like the online cases is just like boom, 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 boom. You would see, like, prior to COVID, I didn't see a whole lot of reels that was advertising. Now every other day, I point out to my husband, like, look at this, like it's literally on your feed, and from a naked eye you don't see it, but from a trained eye you like, this girl is advertising, like this is crazy. And so we have to really understand that as soon as awareness is great, but it has to be consistent, because the moment you introduce it to the public, they'll change it. Yep. And so now what you're looking for is no longer relevant. And so that's why you gotta stay. You have to be consistent. You have to stay in the fight. You can't just say, "Oh, I did that. That's good. Let me pop my collar," because it changes. The need changes. The clientele changes. It's always evolving. Everything is evolving. Even the currency, like you rarely get individuals that's hand to hand trans. Now it's all digital. And it's the language changes, everything changes, and so it's important that we can talk about it, but we got to constantly talk about it. We have to be consistent with our messaging, and we have to make sure that we know what's going on. We can't sit from a space of research. Yeah, I did research on trafficking, but I didn't learn nothing from that research compared to what I learned on the street, what I learned when I'm interviewing the girls, because they have the relevant information.
I have to stay educated.
Yeah, you have to. You have to. And it has to be human-centered. It has to be human-centered work.
So what are some of the biggest challenges that you think you face or that you're facing?
The change in the environment is always a big challenge. I think that just society and media, where we stand now, everything goes. And so when you are trying to change the mindset of a young girl, saying that this is not the way, but everything she sees, everything she hears, everything that's penetrating her mind and her ears and her eyes is saying that this is okay. And so what we've done is we've normalized exploitation. And so to get to tell a young girl that this isn't normal, when how is it not normal? You abnormal, you being a married woman, that's abnormal, because this is what I see, and so everywhere. I think that's the biggest conflict for me. It's not so much, I don't really care what the laws say. I don't really care, like funding, all that, because when you're doing what you're supposed to do, you're gonna do it for free if you have to. So that kind of stuff, where the money gonna come. I don't care about stuff like that. But what I do care about is, like, I'm seeing such a drastic change in the mindset of our young women and men, and it's kind of like it's it's disheartening, because it's like you see the potential, but they don't see potential outside of this work, and they don't even see it as work. They just, this is what everybody's doing. So what's the problem? I'm getting this money. I'm in this bag. What you want me to do? Like, so that's the most challenging thing, is because it's like watching a train derail, and you're like, I can't stop it.
Yeah. So with the challenges, I know that you have accomplishments too. So what are your biggest accomplishments, or what do you see as your biggest?
Every time my phone rings and one of them girls is calling me, asking me for a recommendation for a job, or asking me if they can come to my office and fix their resume, or or sending me pictures, like you would, society will have you think that our kids are doing nothing but getting in trouble. But I'm here to tell you that they're doing some amazing things. I see it, and I think that we want to celebrate the big major things instead of walking the little small steps. Like, those small steps make me happy, because when something happens real big, it drops real fast.
Yeah.
But when you see the progress of somebody, giving that girl that scholarship, that was amazing to me, to watch us just like ball, just so excited, and when she literally came to me and said, I need to do something different. Like, I want to be an X-ray. I want to go into X-ray technician, but I don't even know. Like, I don't have a GED. these people was like, we'll pay for her to go get her GED, we'll pay for her to get this certification. Like that's big to me, you know, seeing my girls use skills that what they gathered on the street. So what was probably a tool to do them harm, they feed themselves from. You know, I have a girl that's a celebrity makeup artist now. You know, like, and I used to laugh at her when she came in, like, girl, if you don't get them eyebrows together, because they used to be so big, and she, you know, and now to see her doing local videos, music videos, you know, being a makeup artist for local music videos. I had a trans client that was actually being exploited, and I say makeup, hair, everything was always banging. And now I see a shop, you know, you have a shop. And so to me, that's what it's all about, is getting the skills, using your strengths to combat those things that's happening to you. You know, like people have trauma. People going to experience trauma, but what do you do with it?
Yeah.
So for me, those big wins is to see them take that thing that people thought was going to break them, which is the thing that's making them now.
So you literally have girls that you have seen from here, from low, and just follow them up until where they are.
I follow all of them mostly. Okay. I think I probably I would probably say I talk to probably like half my girls on a regular basis, and now they 30 in their 30s. They living everywhere, but they're gonna keep in contact. And that was always a reason why I would never change my phone number, because I know they're gonna go back into life. That's natural. Nobody gets, you know, like this idea that we can fix people. We can't fix people. We cannot fix people, but we can give them some tools. That doesn't mean that having those tools is gonna it's gonna be some miraculous change. That's not even natural or realistic. And so having my number remain the same has always been important to me, because when they fall, they gotta know somebody gonna pick that phone up. Because if nobody's picking up the phone, then they're gonna stay down. And they don't ask me for nothing. Sometimes they just want to talk through stuff.
Yeah, just know that you're there. That's okay. So what's next for you? What does God have for you? What's next?
Well, the documentary is next. Continuing the documentary, we did the short, you know, just for the purpose of gaining some traction at the gala, but making a full-fledged documentary. We got some amazing footage at Girls Night Out. We got a day. Girls Night Out day now is always this fourth Friday of every January.
Oh, okay.
So that's amazing. And I really would like to see this become a national event, because trafficking didn't start here. It don't finish here. Like, you know, there are some agencies, there are some people doing some amazing work across the United States, and I would like to see us all get on one accord.
Okay.
You know, specifically.
That was going to be my next question. Do you get with other states, or do you get
with
other
I do.
organizations? Okay.
I do. I have to, because some people can't be housed here. It's not it's a safety issue. Okay. You know, sometimes it's a safety issue. Sometimes it's an issue where they're not always as ready as they think they are to get out of their life. And one phone call, you know, but it's harder to get you back from Arizona. It's harder to get you back from North Carolina, from Florida. And so being able to establish those relationships with agencies everywhere, Tamiko in California, like just being able to have that, you know, that pathway or pipeline for resources have, you know. And sometimes they get there and we lose them, because they get there and they find a corner or they find you know, a way to work. But I mean, I think that the wins definitely outweigh the losses.
Okay. So, that's so good. Let's see. What do you do, or do you have a famous scripture or?
Jeremiah 29:11.
Oh, me too. That's it. Yes. Is that what you stand on? And that's what you okay.
That's it.
And that's what you tell young ladies.
That's just it for me. Like Jeremiah 29:11 is just that's how I want to live my life. Like, I didn't create this life. I can plan. I can do as much. I can always write out my plan, but it is not my plan. And when we operating based on our plan, we operating outside of His will. And to me, Jeremiah 29:11 is the safest place to be, because it's his plans that he has for us. Mm-hmm. And it's also a safe space because it's like that resting place because I know that his plans is to prosper me and never harm me.
Never harm me.
Never harm me. And so just knowing that he got me, you know what I'm saying? And so all this wild stuff, Brenda called me, I just mentioned Brenda Myers Powell. She called me yesterday and, you know, she just say whatever she want to say. Okay. And she said, you know what? I just wanted to call you because crazy. I said, I'm crazy. She like, yeah, you ain't scared of nothing. Why would I be scared when I serve a mighty God? Why would I be scared when I sing that he, you know, if he did it then, he's gonna do it this time. Yeah. Like he's never forsaken me, he's never left me. So why would I get scared now? Like scared for what? Like I got an army behind me, you know, like, and so for me, that's what Jeremiah 29:11 mean. Like, there's no room for fear in his plans.
It's my favorite scripture too. Oh my God. None.
Like, what are we doing?
Oh my goodness. So yeah. Oh my God. That's it. Like, that's it. That's all.
And I think like one of the things that I sometimes I have to laugh about because like I tell people like I never apply for anything. Like I never apply for anything. Like I've never submitted my name for an award. I never applied for nothing. It's just like God just be like, boom, here you go. Let me drop this. Let me drop this. Here you go. Let me hear. Let me go ahead. But I thought about it like with Girls Night Out that Friday when I was out there. The women, they was running to us. They was just, and I said to myself, because I'm not gonna lie, I did question, not doubt, but I did question. You know, sometimes I have to step back and say, is this what I'm supposed to be doing? You know, like, is the gala too flashy? Like, am I doing, you know? So, you know, because sometimes things get so, you know, you get so much recognition that you start to question, like, is this godly or is this fleshy? Like, you know, and I'm not gonna lie, I was in that moment, and I remember thinking when we were at one of the motels, and the waiter girl said, I promise you, if you ever want to know if you're doing what God wants you to do, just do it. Because I promise you, he show you so clear. The way them women was running to us and flocking and getting tested, and you know, they was just, it was like all we had to do was show up. We didn't have to do anything else. We didn't have to hung no horns. We didn't do nothing. All we did was pour up. Our very first stop was at 95th and in the red line. It was 3 girls stood out there. And one girl had this purse, and I said, I just don't see a person wearing that. Normally, she got to be working, you know. And I didn't notice her pimp at all. I was not focused on her pimp at all. I didn't even notice her pimp was there until I got back on the bus because I saw, you know. Then I said, oh, okay, he was out there. But the girl said to me, I didn't even know I needed this prayer till you came. That's how you know what God. That's how you know it's God. You know, like when you show up with something somebody need, they ain't even know they need it. Like, you know, and I never have anybody being, you know, I've never been threatened. I never have people that's, you know, get all out of their body. I'm always received. And so that's how
they waiting on you.
But they waiting on God. They not waiting on me. They waiting on the light of God. Because I don't have to say who I'm representing. They should know it. I never have to. I never go out there and, are you saved? I don't have to do all of that. You know what I'm saying? I show up where he tell me to go. And I promise you, when you take care of his business, he grow yours. So like, he handle yours. He handle yours. And so for me, that's just what it is. I'm handling his business because I know I don't have to worry about man when I work on his.
That's a word. Did y'all hear that? Yeah. Oh yes. Oh my gosh. So you keep doing what you're doing, honey.
Thank you.
So many that are still out there that's waiting on not you but God, the light in you to show up.
It's other. Tell me if y'all want to do it so I can tell. I'm tired. Like, I don't mind training nobody. I don't mind. Like, I need, you know, I don't believe that I own this work. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't own human work. You know, like human services, human beings are supposed to get in the midst of that. And so
it takes see, here's the thing. It takes a special, I always say it's like for nurses, teachers, and all of that, take a special heart, special person to do what they do. It takes a special person like you to do what you do.
That ain't why I do what I do, because it could have been me. It
That part.
definitely, if
Yeah.
on paper, it should have been.
Mm-hmm.
Every time I look at one of them girls, all I can say is, but God.
But God.
Because it definitely should have been. And if he made sure that it wasn't, that's another doing his business. Like I gotta, make sure that it don't have to be somebody else. If they choose it, I can't change nobody's choices. Right. But if they want to see something different, I definitely got something different for them.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much. All right. Well, that's all I got, y'all. So continue to stand tall. And this is the series. Where are they now? And here she is. 4 years later, still doing what she's doing and being great at it. So thank you for watching. Click subscribe and come back again.